Hi there, I'm Andrea Koppel, and it's time for coffee, the podcast where you get to hear firsthand what the jobs and careers that interest you the most are really like. Hey there, Java junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Susan Feeney. So why did you decide to leave journalism? And what do you think, in hindsight, were some of the biggest adjustments for you, Susan?
I decided to leave journalism in part because I was a mom. So I think this is where I talk about your career being in chapters and the thing when you graduate from college that you think you're going to do. I thought that my career was a perfectly straight line. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be a political journalist. I wanted to cover the White House, all that. And then I did all of that. And what happened was in the year 2000, I was a political reporter for the Dallas Morning News. And I had a 2-year-old, not just during the New Hampshire primary, his second birthday, he's 21, by the way, his second birthday was the day of the New Hampshire primary.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Every mom cringes. So my employer at the time was not particularly interested in having me not work on his birthday, of course, but I didn't even have the ability, given the crux of a presidential campaign, to go home in a long stretch of time around that period of time. We solved the problem as a family. We didn't tell him it was his birthday. We actually, when he graduated from high school, told him we lied to him about his second birthday and told him to work it out in therapy. We told him his birthday was on Saturday when I got home. Isn't that crazy, right?
That was so clever of you.
Oh, kind of. But I felt bad. I cried. So it made me cry not to be with him. And I whined to all of my women friends. And it was Mara Eliason, a friend at NPR and still, who said, hey, I think we're doing some hiring. I don't know, whatever that is. So that's when I made the transition from reporter to editor. That's the chapter, the first chapter for me. I always wanted to be a reporter. I never wanted to be an editor or a manager. I avoided it like the plague. So NPR was a great improvement for me because I wasn't out on the road not seeing my 2-year-old. But eventually, that was really challenging too, I felt, to be a good parent and be a journalist. That's when I knew I needed to make another adjustment. And I felt strongly that adjustment was going to be out of journalism. I don't know why. I was heading toward 50. I thought, I have another career in me. I started a very small nonprofit around the end of my days at NPR. It was at the time of Hurricane Katrina. So I was a reporter in New Orleans for a long time. And then I was at NPR when Katrina hit. Everything I knew about the Ninth Ward and New Orleans came to bear for our coverage at NPR. So I started a little nonprofit. We raised quite a bit of money for the families of journalists during Katrina. Turns out reporters really suck at being victims because they just keep working. And you know what? We needed them to keep working in New Orleans because that's how the whole world knew what was going on. And even national media was taking cues from them. So that experience of building this nonprofit sort of lit a fire, an entrepreneurial fire, something that was more cause related. So then I started just asking everybody I knew what they did and how they did it, and did kind of a big survey of other jobs. But the very first person was Frank Greer, the founder of GMMB. I had known him and Jim Margolis, both GMMB founding partners, when I was a political reporter. And at that time, they weren't really hiring. I kept talking to more and more people, but came back to GMMB because I found it to be a place where I could do really meaningful work. It's not unlike being a reporter because it's different stuff flying around every day, which turns out to be my speed and my passion. And so that transition was frightening and exciting because I really didn't know what they did. But luckily, they believed I had transferable skills.
Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to Time for Coffee, where the professionals in the jobs that most interest you always have time to grab coffee 24/7, no matter where you live. I have one quick favor to ask you. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Time for Coffee. Thanks so much.